Cheers. Let's get this run done.
Mile 1 complete. 10-minute pace. Feeling good. I am feeling good. Let's get this done. Mile 2, 9:25 pace. I'm really bad at catching these watch faces with my pace on it, but here we are. Still kind of getting by. Not too bad. Mile 3, 11 minutes, 9 seconds. Let's go. There we go. I caught it. Mile 4, 10 minutes, 9 seconds. I don't even know if that was focused on the camera, but I caught it. Caught it that time. Something going on in my mind is it's weird because once you're not in a relationship, it's kind of out of nowhere. But that's how runs go. Get some random thoughts. But yeah, when you're out of a relationship and you're fresh out, right, you still kind of self-reflect. You look back. You think, what could I have done differently, kind of stuff, you know, normal human behavior, wanting to improve. And a thought that came to mind was how much I didn't share, how much like I kept to myself. It's kind of crazy. It's almost a little bit of guilt. You're like, man, there's so much I didn't express, so much I didn't tell them, because I was so afraid of what would come out of it. Mile 5, 10 minutes, 21 seconds. This has been breeze. I mean, now at 154, got 2 more miles to go, running 10-minute pace. I should get this done in at least 20 to 25 minutes. 11-minute pace, 6 mile. So this other mile should be a lot quicker since we're going downhill. The thing about my training track, I guess, is it's all dirt. So that already makes you burn more calories because you have to exert more effort. And therefore the training is a lot harder. So when I compare it to the marathon, most of it will be pavement. So already that should make my minute per mile a lot better and my overall heart rate a lot better. Also, this is a lot of elevation gain for training. I want to say it's like 5,000 elevation gain every single run. I might be off by a zero. It might be 500. By the way, it is a lot of up and down, and I believe Long Beach does have a few hills, but it shouldn't be as intense as my training. So I do believe I should be able to maintain a 8 to 9 minute pace. That is the goal. At least 9-minute pace throughout the whole thing, so I can get a sub 4-hour marathon. But I do want to shoot for an 8-minute pace, maybe get a sub 3:30 marathon. If I were to get 3:30 in my first marathon, that would be absolutely shocking to me. But my standards are 4-hour. That's the goal. I'll go through a lot of pain if I have to maintain 9-minute mile pace. So I messed up the verbiage earlier. I want to correct myself. So what I was trying to say is that my state is at a 5,000 elevation. So it's already a lot harder to get oxygen in and that sort of thing, making my runs a lot more difficult. So high elevation training, on top of that, my elevation gain is 500 every single time I train. 550 today was the exact number. So, I mean, I ended up the run at a 10-12 pace. I'm very confident that with less elevation overall, less elevation gain, and there's one more variable. Oh, the pavement that I will run on. I think all 3 of those variables combined, I should easily get a sub 9-minute pace, shoot for a 8-minute pace if I can. I mean, that would be insane. I'd be more than happy with 3:30, my first marathon. But the goal is 4 hours. I'm not trying to get too ahead of myself and set up for failure, set up for disappointment. So, great run today. Really easy. 10-12 pace, 7 miles. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't do my distance run this Saturday, so feels good to be back and running. Feeling well recovered too from it.
Right, so after run meal here, still feeling great. This is a lot of calories for the day, I'm not gonna lie, knowing that I have my dinner, or my lunch I should say, because I don't eat that late. Post run, I always like to carb back up. I drink a ton of water. It's right beside the camera. So far I'm at half a gallon. So I'll fill that back up, drink for the rest of the day. Usually I don't really drink water. Like when I get home, backtrack here. When I get home, I drink a lot of water to instantly replenish my water weight that I lose on the run. With my fruit though, I don't drink water because there's water in fruit, especially watermelons. I think they're like 90+% water. To start, I have 2.3 ounces of Swiss cheese. Now the reason I'm digging into this one is because it's on the brisk of going bad. So I am gonna finish that, 2.3. I would honestly go without this, but I don't want it to go bad. I'd rather eat it than waste it. I got a fourth or a quarter of a watermelon, whatever you'd rather prefer to hear. Yesterday, the other quarter. Watermelon tends to be pretty calorically dense. I believe this is probably like 300 calories. And then this pineapple was 200 calories. So yeah, 500, maybe 700, about 800 calories here on the board. So I'm gonna dig into this and fuel up and get going. Today has been very much a self-reflection day. I'm glad I cut into this. I was like, oh man, this pineapple's gonna go bad. I better cut into it now. So like, again, I wouldn't eat this entire pineapple, but I mean, as you can see, it's starting to overripe. So today has been a really big self-reflection day, mainly on my relationship. I can't help but feel like, you can't blame the other person for something failing. And yeah, I'm just someone that is willing to accept that I am a part of the problem no matter what. Because something doesn't work between two humans because the two humans weren't able to get through it, right? Not just one or the other. But yeah, it's it's bittersweet. I can't lie, I do have pride, and I feel like I can't reach out. I just feel like I can't reach out. Like my pride is kind of there. I feel like I made up my mind and I need to stick to what I made up my mind on. But we're here. But yeah, if like I said early on the run, if you're in a relationship, consider all the things you're not saying. Like, it's crazy how much communication is important, but like, you refuse to believe it. At least I did. And when you're out of it, you realize, wow, I didn't share like anything on how I felt. And it's crazy. You kind of just sit there and think, what if I would have shared everything that I felt? Like, what would have been the outcome? We wouldn't be together. Well, I mean, now we're not together and it's still the same outcome. But I'm left with guilt because I didn't share how I felt to its truest form. So that's something I definitely want to carry with me going into my next relationship. I can only improve if, I do the work and self-reflect and realize who I am as an individual. Like, I have my own problems. With plenty of research done, I am a distant attachment style. And it is entirely from my family's way of raising me. I felt like I never really received love, so I feel like I have to work really hard for it, and then when I get it, I feel like something's wrong. Just very hyper-independent individual, and it's just gonna take time to find someone that accepts that, right? So someone that I'm compatible with. Or maybe with enough work, I can lose those chains and be secure. Because I feel like at one point I was. but I wasn't in a relationship, right? So it's like, was I really considered secure if I wasn't in a relationship? Was I just kind of happy with my current state of being independent, which falls under my already problem in a relationship and why I don't usually stick to them or commit to one. Kind of just, yeah. Yeah, that's the end of the yap. Pineapple is peeled. Whenever I peel them, I tend to, again, just go along the edges. I'm sure I missed out on some pineapple, but look, I'm not gonna freaking dig into all of it like that. And then from here, I kind of find where the tough part of the pineapple is, and I start going and cutting around it. I do think pineapple makes me itchy because I cut so close to the core, and it's said that when you cut close to the core, that's actually what makes you itchy. For the longest, I thought I was probably allergic, which I probably still could be, because it does make me very gassy. Yeah, if you're eating, skip this part. But it does make me very gassy and bloated. So I don't know if that's actually still a possible allergy to the pineapple, or if that's just kind of how a pineapple works. So yeah, get into the core. Yeah, it's close enough. Flip it over, do it on the other side as well. And yeah, and then you get to enjoy it. It's funny how much work you have to and effort you have to put into something that's oh so good for you, right? Like anything in life. Like you could easily pick the bag of chips and just start munching right away when you get home, but the price you pay is afterward instead of paying it up front. Like I am here, having to wait until I cut up all this pineapple to eat. Honestly, that's good enough. So I got all the pineapple off the core. Toss all this. I'm gonna eat all this. Probably start with the pineapple because it smells so gosh darn sweet and ripe. And then I have to head to the gym because I have a day full of editing. Recently, I went a week without uploading because I spent my weekend with my family. It was my mother's birthday, so I figured I'd be there. Made it a special day for her. We did a little grill out like I mentioned in a previous video. Bought a bunch of meat from Force of Nature, and it was a great time. But the consequence I paid was losing a lot of time in my work. So today I have to make sure to edit. Yeah, eat this fruit, eat the cheese. Again, I don't really have to eat this many calories, but because the food's gonna go bad, I'm gonna eat it. This is about 800, 900 calories, and then I'm gonna head to the gym. So that puts me at about 1,300 for the day, pre-workout, like gym workout. But a lot of it was burned in the run. I'd say at least like 800, maybe let's say at least 800, maybe 900 calories on the run. So I need to refuel, get myself lifting. So enjoy this, and I'll catch up with you afterward. All right. This brings us to the final meal. I got 2 patties, whole lot of calories. Made sure to drizzle the fat on top. In 1 minute, they're nice and rested. You it's some knuckle bone that honestly, I think there's not even anything I can scrape off that. Another knuckle bone, but this one has bone marrow. It's definitely not a tablespoon worth. I'm honestly like, do I even count that? Like, do I? We're just gonna do like half a tablespoon because that's not a tablespoon. So with half a tablespoon and 1 pound of grass-fed beef, half a pound of ancestral blend containing liver and heart, a whole pound and a half of meat here, half a tablespoon of bone marrow puts me at 1,572 calories in this meal. That is insane. That is so many calories, 1,572 in these 2 patties. I mean, they're big. Don't get me wrong. They're bigger than the palm of my hand, but that's still a lot of calories. Put a ton of salt on there to reduce any sort of cramping. Earlier today, I had the watermelon, the pineapple. I had this morning some maple syrup with kefir before the run, and then I had the cheese. That puts me at 2,761 calories, 161 grams of protein, 212 grams of carbs, and 147 grams of fat. So, hey, I'll take it. Maybe a little less fat, a little less protein. Again, I would have probably not ate the cheese because I knew I was going to eat this much meat. But hey, I had to eat the cheese or else it would start going bad. So I would have preferred more carbs today, less, no cheese essentially, more carbs instead. But we're here. We're gonna enjoy this meal. It is well rested. I'm gonna down these calories. Yeah, that's calories for the day, macros for the day. I do have to prep my organs later today at some point. So I think what I'm gonna do is eat this, do some editing, and then I'll prep the organs. I'm gonna pre-package those for the however long I have with that amount of meat. I do 3.5-ounce portions. Last week, I actually was saying in a video that I'm not gonna do the extra organs because it's from a grain-fed source. So I wasn't gonna do any more heart, any more kidney, that sort of stuff. I'm actually adding it back in because honestly, this is a lot of meat and I get real sluggish after. So I'd rather do less meat. I'm going back to what I was doing before, if you were a part of those videos. Yeah, less meat, more organ. I'm gonna prep that after this.